There we go. We are live now,
Oh,
Jen.
yeah, there we go.
Yes.
Going live soon. I'll refresh. All right. Well, here we go. We're on. What's up, everybody? What's up, Grinder Blues?
Hello, hello. Hello from America.
Hi, everybody. Oh, yeah, there we go. We're getting some alerts. We'll give it a second. See if
nice.
I see it.
There we go.
Wow.
Cool.
Mine is like 10 minutes behind.
Yeah, it'll have a huge lag on it, so don't listen to the audio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not even looking then.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like I'm moving when I'm not. It's scary.
All right, let's do this.
All right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, everybody. This is the Grinder Blues Facebook Live Q&A event. I'm Jabo, the guitar player. Jabo Bihlman. Of course, we have the legendary Doug Pinnick, bass and vocals. Scot Bihlman on drums and vocals. And here we are. We welcome your questions about El Dos or anything about the band. And the good-looking gal on the other side, that's Crystal Fluette. She is going to be doing she's going to wrangle these cats.
All right.
Let's try to wrangle these cats. We already have John. He's saying hi from Northern Ireland, loving the new record.
Hey, all right.
Fantastic.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it, man.
Hey, John.
We love Ireland.
Let's go there and play a show.
Peaky Blinders.
I'm ready.
So you guys were just kind of talking. I mean, the new record released on September 24th, which was a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you were talking about how you've gotten messages from people. What are some of the things people are saying?
Mostly get a new guitar player. But other than that, no, they're raving about Jabo's guitar sounds are actually raving about that.
They are.
They are, everybody loves Doug's vocals and everything like that. So they're all over that and this whole thing. I'm actually getting nice compliments on drummings, which I appreciate that. So yeah, the overall thing, nothing's come back, said you guys completely suck. So it's a win.
It's right. It's a
win at this point.
Yeah, no, every response I've got has been fantastic.
Yeah, my responses are, they just tell us what we want to hear is that the record is kind of pushing the envelope for what they traditionally love blues for, which is very encouraging that we're actually, creating something at least reminiscent and cool at the same time. At least that's what people say. It's awesome.
That's a very good point. We've been getting that a lot where we have tapped into, we always push the ZZ Top thing. And I think we definitely tapped into that on this record, but also the more traditional and also the more modern aspects, it's all in there. So that's huge.
We'll be in Boston.
That's what we're shooting for.
Boston, he says. We need Boston area shows. We're coming.
Yeah, we'll be there.
That's a Scott Bacon.
It looks
I'm looking
like
at my thing.
They're asking, when are you going to play live? Do you guys have a plan to go to tour at some point?
I know Metal has
the plan.
We're all open to it.
That's the plan.
We're all open to it. Just waiting for them to figure out how to book it and make it all work out and stuff, and to see if there's any response. We gotta get a lot of people if we're gonna go play. Not a lot, just enough for the promoter to make his come out even at least. So we're trying to work that all out. You just can't get up and just go play somewhere. It takes some time. So
call later today with a booking outfit. But we're excited to get out there and play for sure. Touring and playing live is really what this band flourishes. We are a jam band to a certain extent. We play the songs, but live, we break down the solo sections and build them back up and everything like that and let people just fly. And it's never the same show, really. It's always how we're always feeling it and how the whiskey sets in and either which way.
I'm thinking of Doug and his tequila in Germany. Was that Germany?
I don't know. I drank my face off on that tour. I love it. That's the fun of playing blues. Blues is a sloppy, emotional type, fun music, and so the drunker I got, the more fun I had. I don't know.
The more real, the more authentic.
No one complained, so I guess I was okay.
Yeah. Well, you know what you always say: you can't be drunk all day if you don't start in the morning.
That's right.
Oh shit. So yeah, to answer the question, yes, we are. I mean, look, man, we're down for whatever touring we can do. Doug is super busy. We're all super busy, and we're trying to make it work. So yes, we would love to, and hopefully that will happen. I mean, it's important to us for sure.
Nice. Okay, so I have a question. I'm going to start with a couple of questions of my own, guys. Where did you record Eldos?
That was in Cleveland, Mississippi, down there in the Delta, right by the crossroads. And anybody else can take this question as well, Doug, if you want to.
Yeah, it's where the blues. They say it's where the blues was born. Charlie Patton, who was probably, they say, the first guy to play blues or started. He went to the cotton plantation there with Muddy Waters, B.B. King, and you can go down the list. They were all there, and that's where the blues started. So just going to Cleveland, Mississippi was just really interesting. And like Scott was saying, the crossroads is there. And it's a blues college that we made the record at. Miles Fullwider, our manager and producer and whatever else you want to call him, we just love him to death. He brought us down there, and didn't we do the record in front of a class? It was like I don't
know if it was in class, but he definitely had students helping, and they were in and out all the time, and very involved in the recording process. Plus, it was in this gigantic, so it was a state-of-the-art studio, but it was
blues college.
Yeah, and it was this giant, really the biggest room I've ever recorded in. It was like a gym. Remember that? That's where we did all the
it was, yeah.
But
incredible. I think there's pictures in the vinyl of how big the studio was. It was monolith.
But I think that's part of the sound of the record, actually, was that huge room. Miles will be happy to hear that. But I think a lot of that had to do with the huge rooms and the 50 mics that Miles had up all over.
He's a connoisseur of amazing equipment. And anyway.
And so Doug was talking a little bit about this Cleveland, Mississippi. That's where the farm that he's talking about is called Dockery, and that's actually where Robert Johnson worked. And Crossroads. So there's another quote unquote crossroads that's up the highway from Cleveland, Mississippi, in another town. I can't think of it now. I stopped there actually on my way out, but they say that's a crossroads, but the actual crossroads is at the end of an old railroad tracks, right out of the Dockery Farms, and that's where Robert Johnson sat and wrote Crossroads, and he was talking about that intersection right there at the end of that railroad track.
Is that the one we went to?
Yeah, that's the one where we took those pictures.
That's the one. Yeah, the cemetery was there that he was singing about in the song too.
Yeah, man. So anyway, the whole Cleveland, Mississippi vibe, I think, was really good for us, and it was strangely, Doug has some familial ties to that area too, which we didn't know about.
My dad, his whole family comes from Cleveland, Mississippi. Well, the area back in the slavery days and all that stuff. His whole family comes from that area called Lowell County, and I didn't know that until I got there. And the town called Batesville was about 10 miles away or so, and that's where my dad's family came from. And their last name is Bates also. And the Indian reservation down the road, the opposite direction, is a Choctaw Indian reservation. My grandmother was born there. So being there was like a real experience for me, because I don't know, everybody I looked at I thought could have been my relative if I went to the store or something. It was awesome. and just to think that they lived down there in that time, with all the, the whole racial thing, the slavery, the freedom. My grandmother left, she said, because she got tired of seeing so many people getting lynched. So, it's got some bittersweet memories, but it's really cool just to know that all that stuff happened there.
Yeah, that's pretty
cool. What's interesting, though, I learned at the Dockery, the guy was saying, is that the slide guitar was actually invented down there, brought over by the Hawaiians.
Yeah, slack key guitar. That's how that whole thing started.
Yeah.
Wow.
So thank you, Hawaii.
Yeah, pretty crazy. They had a bunch of Hawaiians running around down there playing slide guitar.
That's how it started, right? Slide guitar. They said the Hawaiians brought the slide, and then the brothers started sliding around with it.
Yeah, man.
How much
Somebody
time did you
asked
spend
about
down there recording?
I mean, I think we were only down there for about a week total.
Yeah, it was about a
6
week.
days.
Took a while to mix it, you know, because we were, you know, we didn't mix it together. You know, Miles mixed it and Jabo mixed it. So, and that took a while. You know, Jabo had to go up there and hook up with Miles, and they were in a different. Where'd you guys do it at? It was in like Indiana.
Yeah, because at that point Miles had moved to Fort Wayne. So yeah, we did it down there. But
now, somebody just asked if it took us this long to make a record. When's the next one? Well, we can do the next one tomorrow. Yeah, we can go in the studio and knock that out. I'm excited.
We only need 3 or 4 days, and we can pump it out.
Yeah, that's it. I'm ready.
I mean, recording the record is easy. It's getting it to the peoples that's hard.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We got a great record label. We got a great record label now, so we're going to be putting out Grinder Blues stuff like a lot because we can do that.
That is the truth. Metalville has been so great to work with, man. Thank you, Metalville. You guys have been amazing.
When you are, I'm curious in the recording process, do you typically make music first? Do you have lyrics first? Is it a both? How did the process go with this record?
I'd say it was pretty much music first. I don't think anybody really came with lyrics. We do it old school. Like, we've all been in this business for a really long time, but it actually is kind of a going back to the roots of a garage band kind of deal where you are like, hey man, you got a riff, you got this, we show up and just start jamming and things start, you know, the magic starts happening. And Miles hits record and we kind of go. I mean, we run the song maybe a couple times to get the structure, and then nobody in the band tells anybody really what to play. You know, I mean, we just really bring our own influences and what that is to it. And that's a pleasure, because when you're doing sessions and you're doing other recordings for people, you got to recharge, you got to, you know, you're really taking direction from the artist you're working with and stuff like that, and producers. But in this band, it's freewheeling, man. You can do whatever. And I think that's really transferring over for sure. That's why we're getting a lot of like Cream comments. You know, you guys sound like Cream and things like that, which is cool. You know, it's a good jam.
Yeah, we just come from the basic blues background, and that's pretty simple, you know. And from that point on, we just try to take it, you know, beyond the envelope for a second and see it. You know, the way ZZ Top did it on Tres Hombres was they took traditional blues and made it progressive without it sounding progressive, and just up the notch a little bit, made it heavier and more and fun, even the stories that they sung about. So that's kind of the vibe that we're trying to get, you know. It's just a classic thing. I love it. If somebody says that, you know, it sounds like ZZ Top Tres Hombres, I'm happy with that, you know.
Yeah, me too. That works for me. That brings up a good point, what Doug just said about the lyrics, though. So yeah, we would do the music first almost all the time, and then we would take the recordings away and then work on lyrics, and Doug would come up with lyrics and melody lines, and we would all collaborate on all that stuff. But what you just said there, Doug, is true, because we do get a lot of comments about the fact that the lyrics are not the bleeding on the page social commentary that all of our other projects, especially Kings, you know, what I have always done. You know, these lyrics are much lighter. They're much more blues oriented. We're not trying to set the world on fire here with lyrics. We're just trying to have some fun playing blues, and we're sticking to, you know, primarily blues concepts. I mean, I think really the only song on the record that probably deviated from that at all is the song about Doug that you did about not bringing all your negative energy. What's the name of that one?
Oh, Keep Away. Actually, almost all the songs that are on there almost have a story behind them. I mean, everything that I contribute to lyrics is always there's a reason. No matter how shallow the song sounds, it's always I'm singing about something, just because I just can't sing about nothing. And so I think all those. I mean, Keep Away is about a person who just brings their negative energy all the time, and that's just a song about. And everybody has one of those people in their lives who just that narcissistic person that just won't give you a break, and And I found another way around. Literally, it's a true story of I was driving to Mississippi, and I got off the highway, and it was a 45-minute ride from the highway to Cleveland, but it took me 3 hours. It was a 2-lane highways. There was no curves, just crosses, and you turn left and you turn right. It was in the middle of nowhere. And you had to drive 45 miles an hour because they said the police will stop you and throw you in jail. And I'm a black guy going, oh my God. So I'm freaking out. And I had weed in the car, so I'm just losing my mind. But I got to this one corner, and it said go right. I always say left, and go right. And I turned right, and there was this bridge. It was a 2-lane bridge that when I looked up, it went as far as I could see. I couldn't barely see the top of it. And it said the Mississippi River. Now I'm going, now this is a little bridge going over this river. So I started driving up the bridge, and it's going clump, 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 clump. And I'm going higher and higher. And literally, this is the honest truth. The lights on the bridge were in the middle of the bridge, and they dangled. I mean, there was like regular light bulbs. And I got to the top of the bridge, and I saw it going down, and I could see nothing but black. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning, nothing but black. Scared the shit out of me. And I got down, and I swore to myself that I'd find another way around. And that's where the song came from.
There you go.
Hey.
True. Yeah.
Dave had a good question. He said, of the songs I've heard, it seems that you use some really low tunings. Can you discuss that?
Yeah, the whole
well, that's our thing. But that goes all the way back to Doug's lineage, really.
Funny story about that. When we first started talking about Grinder Blues, I had told Doug that I wanted to do something different, like 7-string blues. I remember saying that was going to 7-string blues. And he's like, oh my God, yes, that is the coolest idea. So he actually got me a 7-string guitar from Schecter, which we started to use a little bit, but it was giving me like fits with my tendonitis because I had never played 7-string guitars. I do use them on production music, but I've never actually played one for that long, you know, and so it was starting to give me weird. And I was like, man, this sucks. You know, I'm having a hard time playing this thing. So we said, forget it. Let's just tune down to C. So we're not drop C. We're literally C standard tuning with this band, which is super low. That's where and that turned out to be just like this crazy happy thing because, you know,
your slides sound so good that low. Jeez.
It does, man. It does. Yeah. So that's where the heavy comes from for sure. So yeah, it's all C, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that's, you know, ZZ Top, Tres Hombres was like that. It just seemed lower. So I thought, let's go lower. You know, I mean, you gotta, you know, everything that anybody does is being inspired by something else, you know, and this has been a real dream come true to make this kind of music with these guys. Anyway, next.
Next. All right, let's see. We've just got a couple comments. I don't know if you guys are reading them as they come in, but the new CD is awesome. Glad you guys are having fun. My favorite song is Somebody. That's from Jeff.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Let's see if there Scott said, Jabo, are you saying that spanking isn't meant to start a cultural revolution?
I wish.
Yeah, you know, who knows? Maybe
you're gonna tell the story. Should you tell them?
Yeah, sure.
I need to know the story of the song. Is there a story? Please
can I tell it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I tell it? Jabo was talking about his kids one day. And, you know, when they're up late and they're supposed to be sleeping and, you know, parent gets pissed off and they come out of the room and open up the kid's door and go, who wants a spanking? You know, and Jabo was talking about yelling at his kids late at night. And I thought, who wants a spanking? That's cool. And so I started singing, who wants a spanking? And then we got to the third line and I thought, oh, what are you going to say after that? And Jabo says, well, I do. And we all busted out laughing. And that's where it's, you know, so jumping on the bed, making a lot of noise, making people mad, put away the toys. That's just the kids.
Yeah.
Whoa, yeah. But you know, it really does sound sexual, doesn't it? It sounds deep, dark.
The interpretation of people's morbid minds.
Put away that toys. Wow.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's so awesome how that
I love it.
That came out. And it's everybody has, you know, that's one thing when you throw music out there, man. People take it and do their own thing with it. You know, it's very rare that the message that we wanted or whatever is conveyed. It's just that's the beauty of music, man. You put it out there and people grab a hold of it. So, but yeah, that's the true story behind that one. And maybe it will start a cultural revolution. Let's hope.
I mean, now that I know it was based on kids, I'm in. Not that I wasn't in before.
I just hope the strip clubs pick it up. If the strip clubs pick it up, we're gonna get some real.
I mean,
I hope they do. That'd be awesome.
That'll be nice. All you strippers out there, we're throwing it out there to you. We're feeling.
Well, I'm in Vegas right now, so maybe I just go down.
Just start playing it and drive down the strip.
I would know strip clubs in Vegas.
Well, that's funny. Okay, so I have a question about the cover art. It's awesome. How did that come about?
I'll tell that story. So me and Doug have a place right out there in California, and well, actually, we'll go back all the way to the first record. Wyatt is my dog, and he goes everywhere with me, and he's been on tour buses and trains and everything in Nashville and the whole thing, and he's a good old boy. And Doug and Wyatt really hit it off, and has died and gone to heaven like 10 times. Yeah, right. I hate that. Yeah, this is one of the greatest things ever, which I should tape one time, is when Doug feeds Wyatt, because he gives him the best food ever. It's like that. And it's like some sort of New Orleans thing coming down the street, man. Doing this thing, feeding Wyatt, and it's
it's gourmet. We take regular
man. When he makes
we take regular dog food. We take regular dog food, and then we get this wet dog food, and it's just chicken and gravy. Oh, I want to eat it. And you take that and you stir it up in the dog food. And then there's this chewy, like gummy kind of dog food that you can buy. And I take that and mix it together. And he has this, like, it's a gourmet dinner. And he gets so excited. But other than that, I don't give him the time of day. Dog gets on my nerves.
Mr. Treats. He can't even walk through the house without Wyatt. Oh man, I don't want him a treat. But what happened was
Scott sent me. Oh, go ahead, Scott.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Got time.
Well, Scott, it's real simple. Scott sent me a picture one day, and we were all talking about what we're going to call the album. And I, as a joke, I had my phone and I scrolled down because the picture of Wyatt was like a couple things back, and I sent it to everybody, thinking everybody'd laugh. And everybody goes, "Whoa, that's cool!" And then somebody photoshopped it. Wasn't that you, Scott? Somebody kind of did Chantel did a different kind of thing on it and made it pink and orange and stuff like that. Yeah, which gave it such a cool. And the hat was so cool. Scott, you put that hat in that dog, and it was like.
I wear a lot of hats. I'm always throwing hats on him and taking pictures, and he just having fun with him. But
we're gonna do an Instagram on Wyatt.
When we go back to the comments, on the record and things like that.
We're gonna do it.
That's a good idea. Wyatt gets his own Instagram account.
We're gonna get Wyatt.
No kidding, right? We need to do that. But he what was I gonna say? He
come on, Scott.
Oh yeah, a lot of the comments on the record is best album cover ever, and everything like that and stuff. And it's badass, because he's blind in one eye. He's got a cowboy hat on. The Tres Hombre thing is like already in there too with the cowboy hat Texas thing and stuff. And it's good. So,
even calling it El Dos was just a Mexican. We thought, what are we gonna call this one? And I thought, well, look, like ZZ Top did, ZZ Top's second album, and we thought, that don't sound good. And I said, what about, let's say it in this Hispanic, what's number 2? And somebody said El Dos, and so we all kind of just went, wow, cool. We don't argue too much about anything, do we?
No.
We have other things going on in our lives.
Metalville wasn't nuts about it
they weren't.
When we sent it to them. Because, I mean, who knows why? We all loved it, and it was just like, oh my God. And we sent it to them.
I'll tell you what it said.
Are you sure?
He goes, are you sure you want to put a dog on the cover of this record? And I was so sure. It's such a cool picture. It's not because
I don't see why not. I have no. I mean, I've already been in a band that had a dog on the cover.
Yeah, I was gonna say
nobody complained. Nobody complained, so I thought it'd be cool.
That's awesome. Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, a cover don't mean nothing. You know, if you like the record, then you'll like the cover later on, or you say the cover sucks. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
you know?
Very true.
But it makes it that much cooler that it's that badass of an album cover. And
true. I love it.
Come on.
Yeah.
There was the Black Keys put out that El Camino record, and they had that crazy van on the front, which wasn't even an El Camino, and it's an ugly like van on the street. I'm like, if they can pull it off, whatever. No, we don't overthink this stuff, man. We really don't. This album, I'm telling you, this album cover came together in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So gearheads always want to know about the gear used to get the amazing sounds of Eldos. What's the story?
Yeah.
What was the question again? I'm sorry. I was reading a question and I can't multitask.
I got it.
It's what did we use to record, you know, what gear? The gearheads always want to know about the gear.
Well, Doug shows up. He's the only one in the band that shows up with everything like signature. So pretty much I'm using the Doug Pinnick this and that. My thing isn't such a rabbit hole. I have a really nice endorsement with Soul Tone cymbals are phenomenal, and I also use a custom kit, DC California, out of California, obviously, drum kit that's totally badass. So realistically, that's my sound. On this record is 26 by 20, so it's a really big kick drum, and that is kind of our sound. You know, I have that big kick drum.
Yeah, for me, I did. I mean, I think I primarily used the Buddha Super Drive 30 on the record, which is one of the most amazing amps ever. And I also used my Avery Jabo 45 on it a little bit. For all the slide stuff, I used my Reverend, which is sitting right here, actually, my Reverend Rick Vito. I use this guitar specifically for slide because it's got P90s in the bridge, or in the neck, which I love. And it kind of gets that full sound. And then the distortion sounds are a Alex K Productions Hot Ice distortion, which I used on all the Grinder Blues stuff and the tour. It's on my board. And the Leslie sounds, which we use a lot, are that Hughes and Kettner Rotosphere pedal. And other than that, phaser that I use, I heard listening to the record again the other day, I realized that I used more phaser than I thought. That's the option 5 phase, which is good. But I mean, and then primarily the entire record was recorded with my Fender American Standard Telly, which is that there's some magic mojo in that guitar, man, because that thing is absolutely unbelievable. Plus, because we're tuned down to C, I got to use 11s on the guitar, so 11 gauge strings, because that's the only guitar that will hold the tension with the neck that tuned down that low without using bigger strings. So it works out great. But that Telly, man, that thing is just badass. I mean, that is just the guitar for this band for sure. It's beautiful guitar. So,
so those strings make it fat too, tuned down that low and that thick.
Yeah, wow. I think so. Yeah. So that's the sound, man. And I will say in the mixes, Miles spread the guitars out in a very interesting way. So they are gigantic on this record, which I thought they were good on the first record, but this record, I'm really happy with the guitar sounds on this record. So some of it is the amps and the mics. I think the mics were 57s and 58s and a Royer ribbon mic, which is kind of a standard deal. And in the mix, we sort of spread them out a little bit. And then Doug was using the Doug pedal, right, Doug? Or were you using the head?
No, I was using my head. Doug, the Doug Pinnick 4000, 1000. What's the name of it called? Yeah, Doug 1000. I have a signature bass amp from Tech 21, and that's what I used. And I have a signature bass that I use from Schecter, and so that's what I used on the record.
Was the pedal wasn't happening yet?
I don't think so. Yeah,
you were doing the pedal. I remember on the tour, you were literally demoing the pedal. We were working with that pedal.
Right.
Remember that?
That's right. Yeah, it was a prototype. It was a prototype.
Yeah,
that was a lot.
I'll tell you what, dude. Every bass player I know has got that Doug Pinnick pedal. I kid you not.
That's
You must be
awesome.
raking in the dough. When I come back to LA, we're going to go to dinner on you.
No, I'm not raking in the dough. I wish I was. I really do. You know, I probably should have negotiated for more money. I didn't know any better.
Oh, I've said that a million times.
Doug Pinnick too.
At least you know it's my pedal though, and that's what I'm happy about, and I'm glad people like it. It's I haven't heard anybody dog it yet, and it's been 3 or 4 years, and it's all over the net. You know, you could pull up Doug Pinnick DPX3, and it's just everybody's raving about it. So that's exciting.
Yeah, that is. That's awesome.
Really exciting.
I showed up with a coffee cup with a signature on it that says Scot. So that was about the closest I become, you know, I got it with signature anything. So
well, maybe something happened after Grinder Blues.
Be a thermos.
Yeah, I had a thermos that said Scot right there. That's what I did.
Good. It's good to have that. We have so lots of people are asking about touring. Do you guys have any good, memorable stories that you can share from previous touring?
We only toured really one time. We really only toured one time, didn't we? And that was across. Well, a tour. I'm talking tours. We did a couple shows here and there, but touring. Remember the Scandinavia thing? We drove all the way across Scandinavia in a little car with drumsticks, my bass, and Jabo had we rented a car and did 20 shows or so across Scandinavia. Yeah. And we showed up at these little clubs and just had a ball. We played on whatever it was that they had. I brought my pedal, the prototype, so that saved me when it came to bass amps. But we plugged into anything that they had, and there was some shitty amps. And I remember this one drum set. We came in, and I looked at Scott and said, "Dude, can you even play that?" And he says, "I'll make it work." And we rocked out. But I tell you what, I think that was the hardest drum set he ever played. But it was so much fun because it's like we go out not as a rock and roll band coming out to go to, to prove something. We want to come out and just boogie woogie and make you smile and have a good time and hang out. And that's what we did. We'd come early, we hung out with people, and then people would watch us, and we'd hang out with them after and drink with them and stuff. It was just a fun time. I hope that we can still do that and make it that easy and approachable and non-pretentious, can I say? Because we barely did sound checks or anything. We had no sound man, no techs, no nothing.
Yeah, no techs.
That's when I realized that this band can go out and play just the three of us with no problem, because we're not relying on anything other than ourselves, and the result is we're having fun. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I remember from that same tour when we got to this happens. We were in the Czech Republic, and we got to what was supposed to be the hotel. You guys remember that?
Which not.
They didn't know who the hell we are or what the hell we were even talking about. And, thankfully everybody there spoke good English, so we were able to communicate. But we're like, oh my God, we're in the Czech Republic. I have no idea what time it is in the States. We'd been there already for, weeks. So you have no idea what the hell time it is. They don't know anything about what's going on. And we were just like, oh yeah, God. But thankfully, the agent that we worked with was on it, and we were able to. And that actually turned out to be a super cool club and a really fun show, actually. But this kind of stuff happens, man, on the road, especially when you don't have a tour manager with you. We have to handle all this stuff ourselves, and so it's highly stressful. But when that happens, other than that, it's a pretty smooth thing. But yeah, once we hit the stage, we get checked, and you start to feel comfortable. That's like the comfort zone, right? It's like, okay, now we're here on stage, everything's good, let's just rock out, and that's usually the way it is. But there's so many little stories with the touring.
I do remember the bass player in the opening band that kept opening for us never wore deodorant. And that, my friend, is something that has stuck in my mind. I'm telling you, I had to go tell the head honcho, I'm like, I got no problem with these guys. I got like that, but that guy doesn't get some deodorant, man, we're gonna leave the club.
Yeah,
Dead in my mind.
I do not
that might be
remember
a stipulation
I
on
do.
the rider now.
I remember that. That guy,
Jesus.
that guy's
on your
body
rider.
odor.
That's
That
like,
guy's
hey
body
man,
odor.
any opening band, they all gotta wear deodorant.
You need to
Yeah,
cancel
because
that.
you'd walk into the dressing room and you couldn't breathe.
Oh my
It was
god,
that
we
bad.
couldn't. I couldn't eat. They would do these nice catering things for us and stuff. The nice catering things, and I couldn't even make myself a sandwich.
God, if you couldn't eat, that's saying something. It must have really been bad.
Exactly. So yeah.
You know, the other thing too with the touring though on these tours is that we use backline, so we don't have to take any of our own stuff except, like Doug said, just our my pedal board, a couple guitars, Doug's stuff. So you never know. We have a rider that we're specific about what we want as far as amps, and me and Doug especially. The drum kit is generally a 5-piece whatever, but the amps for
But
me,
they don't follow that really. Like,
well, I mean, it's either we are always trying to get what amp pegs for you, Doug, right? When if
Yeah.
it's backline,
Well,
and
that's
for me,
what we
it
all
would be a
get.
Marshall or a Fender, and we would get. I mean, it's like they didn't even look at the rider because God only knows what we're playing through. I remember Doug played through at one. It was actually a really nice club and it was a good thing. But what the hell was that thing that had the yellow speakers? Do you remember that? It was like the outline of the speaker was yellow and it's like a 210 cabinet or something. I was like, man. What?
Yeah, but there was this little Ampeg amp that had a 10-inch speaker in it, and I remember about 3 songs in, all I heard was. But the guy had my pedal plugged into the PA, so the bass was huge out front, so you could tell what was going on. But when I'd walk back to that amp, it was just farting. Yeah, man. We got some pretty. The only place we went that had some good stuff was that one place where they had 2 vintage SVT amps, 2 of them, and I hooked that thing up. It was an old vintage. When I plugged my head into it. It was like I was in heaven. It changed everything for me. In fact, I want
bass head or in the bass drum, and you're hitting it with like clang, 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 clang every time you hit that thing. Yeah,
there was. It's really like on these tours. It's like a 1920s biplane crop duster flying over barns. And you're going through the set like and there's some like on the record there's some signature fills, I mean, we like to jam stuff like that, but there's some like signature fills and stuff, and I know it's coming up in like the next 8 measures, and I'm thinking, how the hell am I going to play what I'm going to play on that? So yeah, it is, you have to throw it all out the window, the real, you got to be having fun, and if that's what it is, that's what it is. And
the great thing about it at the end of the shows was watching the people going crazy. Even if it was 20 people, they were losing. Everyone were like they never seen it before, And so, to me, when you have to struggle and fight with crappy equipment, it creates something else. It makes you dig inside yourself and give what you have inside to overcome what's happening around you, behind you. And I think that as a result of it, it made people really get into us because they felt something other than, they didn't look at the crappy instruments and crappy amps and stuff like that. They were just too busy just boogie woogieing, and that's the whole point, Back in the old days when you'd go to a club to see the old blues players play, the place was no bigger than your kitchen with 3 tables, and they were sitting in the corner, plunking out with their little amps, and that's what it was. And everybody's, they changed the world. And sometimes we forget that no production and just being yourself is really the essence of why we do it. Why anybody does all this, it's an art form that, and we've lost it in some ways, and with the digits and all the other stuff that's going on in our lives and society. And so I want to believe that this record, at least those who are listening, can take you back to the 70s, early 70s, where things were simpler, where you could just boogie woogie and put the record on and have a good time, have a barbecue and smile,
Well said,
That's
sir.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right, I have a question for each of you. What is your favorite song on this record?
Oh, that's a good one.
Let me
I'll
look
tell
at
you my
the back of the
favorite.
record.
Go ahead. Go for it. Mine's Everybody.
Everybody.
Everybody wants some loving.
Yeah,
that's
that's
a good one.
What I love about that is when Jabo started playing, and I'm going, that is a great melody. And I'm thinking, well, why sing over top of that? Just sing it with him, you know.
Yeah.
Even when you get everybody wants some loving, yes they do. You know, when you go,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
my
right.
favorite. I mean, to me, that song is just it's fun, and it's something that it reminds me of the early ZZ Top stuff with these little twists that you just wouldn't notice in a song, and that's what I love about that song. And word wise, everybody needs some love and kissing and hugging and squeezing. Yes, they do. You know, don't we all? You know,
Yeah.
unless you're 100% narcissist and you know you have another thing going. But sorry about the narcissism. I went down the rabbit hole on the net on narcissists and for 3 days now, it's all I've been watching is how to control, how to speak, how to leave, how to, you know. And I don't have anybody in my life like that, but it really helps me see that there were people in my life, and I did what I should have done to get them out. Anyway, next.
All right,
I
Little,
like King
what's your
Without a
favorite song?
Throne.
What?
You know what? I actually, we've all cut a lot of records and everything like that. And there are songs on the records like, it's got, ooh, I love that one. There's not one song on this record that I don't like or I'm privy to. I mean, you know, whoever wanted to make the set list, you know, it'd be like, yeah, let's play this one. Let's play that one. Let's not check any of them. So it's kind of a generic answer, but I like all the songs on the record. So
I actually like King Without a Throne. I don't know if that's my favorite song on the record, but that's definitely blending traditional with some more modern stuff. I like that one. I like Gotta Get Me Some of That. Yes, I mean that's just badass, and I was really happy with the way that came out. But yeah, and I also like what's one where I start off with that the dobro. Is that that's a cool dobro riff. I like that, and then we kick in Where You Gonna Go When the Storm Comes.
Oh yeah,
that's super straight ahead Southern rock, I think. But I do like what we did on that. It's got some interesting stuff. So yeah, but I'm very happy with all the songs on the record. This is a great record. I really like it.
And I gotta say that I'm really happy with the production. You know, I mean, we did go into that. When you do a 3-piece trio, you can push a lot of air, and using the big room, you know, that we did and how it opens up and stuff like that. It's one thing I really enjoy about, you know, Grinder Blues is that it pushes air, man. I mean, it's a great sounding record, and it's big and fat. Nobody's walking on anybody's toes. And yeah, kudos to Miles on putting that together with the in the big room and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, it's enjoyable.
The trio is the best band, I think, really, especially for the kind of stuff that we do, you know, or that, you know, that we like. I mean,
there's not too many out there.
Yeah, there's just something about a power trio that is raw. It's very raw. It's very real, and everybody's got to have their shit together. You know, there's nobody covering anything up. It's like when you're in a trio, man, you're covering your ass. You know. Yeah. So yeah,
there's nowhere to hide.
Yeah, it's very.
I love it. I love it.
Cadillac Pat mentioned, he said, listen to the new album this morning. I think I like it more than the first one.
Well, you know, that's supposed to be that way. And we thank you that you picked that up and gave us that encouragement. Hopefully everyone says this is better than the last one. Kind of makes you feel real shitty when someone says, I like your first one first. You know, it's like
going in the wrong direction.
It's like, okay. I mean, it's like even if it's the truth, it's, you know, we are shame-based people. I mean, I'm going to take that and run with it. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Just one guy said this new record sucks.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
One guy to know all the rest of them, you know.
Yeah.
But be honest with us and tell the truth. I look at it this way. Whatever the complaint is, if it's a legitimate complaint, I can go, yeah. I mean, if the first record was literally better than I thought it was, I'll go, you know, you're kind of right. We put our heart into our second record, but yeah, the first one was a little better. But, you know that's what happens. I'll always be honest, you know.
If it's a legitimate complaint, I usually still say, screw you.
No, I think this record is better than the first one. I mean, I think that we had more of a band vibe on the first one. Plus, the first one we recorded at the Palm Studio in Las Vegas, which is a beautiful studio. I was very happy to be recording there. But it was definitely a little more of a sterile environment, I think.
Yeah.
Than
That drum room.
Being down in Cleveland. And so, I think that the location of where we recorded the new record informed a little bit about what we were doing. And maybe it came out a little bit better. But I do feel like this new one is better. It's also more, I think, expansive than the first one. I think we just let it all roll on this one. I mean, we got Funk Tune on there, for God's sake, and that is that is some straight up 70s funk.
Yeah.
And I'm loving it. So yeah, thank you, sir, for your comment.
Scott says some of that kind of has a manic Moonlight era King's X vibe.
Interesting.
I don't even understand that. Can you explain that a little better?
That's the one where you guys used all those drum loops at the beginning.
Yeah, but I don't see the comparison. But if there is one, I'd like to hear it, because I'm always down to hear those things,
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, well, what's next for you guys? What's next after this?
Well, I think what we're going to do is
tour and make a new record.
Yeah, exactly that. We're going to tour and make a new record. We're already talking about we're already talking to Miles about setting up a schedule and just logistically putting that together, going and knocking out another record. And the touring and playing live obviously has got to get up and running. So that's the plan.
I'd like to get on the road with the Rival Sons. So Rival Sons, if you're watching this, take us out on the road with you.
Oh, see, there you go.
Buck Cherry. Let's go out with Buck Cherry. Not Buck Cherry. I'm sorry.
Buck Cherry.
Strawberry, blackberry smoke.
Blackberry smoke.
God, I can't believe I couldn't get that right.
I was like, Buck Cherry. Okay,
maybe we can make that. We can make that happen, because we kind of know those guys, or my camp does. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But of course, I mean, we want to just keep on doing this as long as we can, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, Scott's expanding on his thought that he mentioned about the comparison for some of that. He said particularly the intro section kind of sounds like from Moonlight.
Yeah. I hear that a lot of people mention that combination, because the song on the King's X record has the same kind of the same bass line vibe. The guitar playing is totally different, the drumming is totally different, but the bass line is real close to the song on And when we go, oh, it's, kind of like, yeah. So I can see the comparison.
All right,
makes sense.
Nice.
It's all coming from the same guy.
Yeah. Right.
Now we're getting a lot of the Rival Sons would be sick, Blackberry Smoke. So everybody's ready for you guys to go on tour.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, we're down.
All right.
We'll see if we can make that happen, literally.
Everything I want to do.
I don't know about Rival Sons, but Blackberry Smoke could be fun. I mean, Rival Sons, are they still together even? Anything? Sorry, go ahead, Jabo.
I said I want to do some cruises.
Oh,
you don't like those cruises?
I'll do them.
How can you not like those?
I have a water phobia.
Oh,
but I'm okay. I have no problem being on the boat, but it's always in the back of my mind because I can't swim and it just freaks me out. But I'm okay with it. I like the boat things. They're easy, but I like to just go do shows. But hey, I love to do the boat. It's fun. You make good money. So sorry that I said all that. Boat would be good.
Oh, Dougie.
I know. I got to think about things before I answer. Because I'll start giving you my answer and go, wait a minute, that's not how I feel.
Let me take that back.
Oh, that is
my God.
So funny.
I immediately regret saying that.
Gus, I regret this decision.
Immediately regret.
I'll play anywhere, anytime, worldwide. So whatever they want to do.
You know, the other thing we're really looking forward to is the as far as what's next is his vinyl coming out. That's going to come out. El Dos in vinyl is coming out, if I'm not mistaken, November 26th, I think is what the label said. So we're super excited about that. This is our first, well, it's not Doug's first, but it's certainly my first vinyl release. And God, it's so hot right now, and just it's
exciting
so cool to be holding a vinyl record, man.
Anytime I get a vinyl record of anything I'm on, it just makes me smile. I just open it up and go, wow. Because remember when we were kids? Well, I don't know about you. You weren't born when I was a kid, but I remember when we had the albums and open them up, and that's all we had, and you'd stare at the album and watch it spin around. You know, so cool.
I was hoping it was going to come out.
That's how Mystery was built back then.
I was hoping it was going to come out on 8-track. So during, on the song, you would be like, diddly, doodly, diddly, diddly, diddly.
Yeah, I can still hear the 2112 clicks. When I listen to 2112, I know when those 8-track clicks are coming up.
Wow. Is that crazy? Yeah. I know, man. Yep, what a crazy deal that was.
You get halfway into the song you hated, and then you stopped it right before the lead, and then you got to hear your favorite song. We figured it out.
Yeah. God, and then I don't know what the vinyl is going to look like, but I mean, just having the big back, like you were saying, back in the old days, Doug, that's how we learned about bands, like you would open it up and there was liner notes and there was pictures of the band. That was it. There was no internet, go to Wikipedia, find out about this band. There was all this mystery that was built, which we lack that now, I mean, it's like instantaneous information about anybody that you want. So anybody can find out anything they want about the band immediately. But back in the old days, you held that record. I can remember again, man, holding like hemispheres, and like looking at this record. I got it on my wall right now, and it has such magic there, Now, hopefully people feel the same. I know when I get my own record, it's got vinyl, I'm going to feel that way. I mean, that's super cool. But I'm really looking forward to that. Very excited for that.
I wish they weren't so expensive, though. That's hard. I do a record store, and I go $35, $29, $30. And back when I used to buy records, they were $3.99, and that was expensive.
Yeah. I mean, it's a novelty now. That's why they're getting up with the novelty tax.
Yeah. I think, though, if more people bought vinyl again, they could bring the price down, hopefully.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
It's coming back. And the thing is that you technically buying, I mean, if you want a Porsche, you got to pay the Porsche price. You know what I mean? And that's vinyl. I mean, you're just getting a better deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I want everybody to have a chance to buy this shit. I want it cheap.
Yeah. What's about as cheap as you can get it if you listen to it on Spotify?
Right, that's true, and bad quality too. But, nobody makes money on selling records anyway. So that's not the point. We just want people to get them. Touring is when you make a living.
Yeah, it's truth. And merchandise sales.
Oh, yeah, it looks like we have some people saying they've already pre-ordered the vinyl. So
awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're gonna love it because it sounds sonically. It's for records, it has a good analog type sound.
Yeah.
Records can't sound all brick walled and modern because they don't sound good. Got to go back to the old way. This record gives space. It has openness when you put the record on. I believe that it will sound that way just because the record sounds that way itself now. So it can be only better on vinyl.
Yeah. Agreed.
That's awesome. I mean, the questions have kind of slowed down a little bit. We have a few more minutes. Is there any other things you guys want to plug, talk about?
Somebody asked Jabo, what's your favorite club in Michigan?
Your favorite venue to play?
Yeah.
Kalamazoo State Theater was always great.
Yeah, Kalamazoo State Theater was fantastic. I love that venue. I saw Doug play the Fox Theater. Doug, you lucky dog. I want to go to play the Fox.
Wow.
I've played everywhere.
Well, we used to play, back in the day, we used to play Fifth Avenue in Detroit was great. Love that room. Machine Shop's fun place to play. But, I got to say, man, I mean, this COVID thing has been rough on venues. And I don't even know anymore, like, who's even around because I haven't been touring in Michigan super heavy lately. I don't know who's still up and running, who's there. Some of the smaller theaters, some of the clubs, it's hard to say. So we'll have to get out there and see what's going on. But there's
somebody asked about what. Oh, here it is. What other projects you guys doing? Like, I guess they don't know the Bihlman brothers have records out, and you know, I got King's X and solo and KXM and
I have a solo record coming out. Just
there you go.
Throw it.
When's it coming out, Scott?
I don't know, man.
Tell us about it.
I'm doing a little shopping
Okay.
right now and talking to some people that
Awesome.
are talking about putting it out. But yeah, I mean, you know.
Yeah, and I've been releasing new music over the course of the past 6 months or so, releasing it singles on Spotify. So that's out there. Jabo Bihlman is out there doing that, and I'm producing some other artists and mixing for some other artists.
And if we can get a chance to do NAMM, we'll be there. If we can get a chance to do NAMM, you know, if the door's open, I'm sure
yeah,
we'll
man,
play it.
We had
Somebody asked that. Somebody asked.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a really good experience in NAMM doing that. So all that. But I mean, realistically, we are talking about doing a third record, and we need to get this band on the road and go out and have some fun. So
it's awesome.
And Doug, you got your solo record is dropping here pretty quick, isn't it, Doug?
Yeah, my solo record will be out in a week and a half. I'll have to look at the calendar. It's called Joy Bomb, so I hope you guys like it. I have a video on YouTube called Key Changer by Doug Pinnick. Look it up, check it out. It's the first song off my record.
Oh, nice.
I like your dance moves in that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we're all staying busy, man. You know, in this business, you got to be as versatile and as busy as you possibly can. You know, we can all attribute to that. That's for sure.
Just reading some of the comments. I mean, Doug, we talked right away about the touring, and you had said you were going to try to make it work. I guess. I mean, I don't know if you guys are seeing all these comments, but Texas,
yeah, I'm seeing
Pennsylvania, France, they all want you.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, like we said, we'll go anywhere.
I'd say just keep checking our Facebook page and you know, check us out on Instagram, thing like that. I mean, you know, we're just getting wind back in our sail on this thing, so we would love to see everybody and go everywhere and do whatever. So if you're down, we're down.
Don't go, just as a side note, don't go to the Grinder Blues website for very much information. Unfortunately, that thing doesn't get updated. More of our updates are going to happen always on Facebook and Instagram, and we all are very active on those. So you can find out more information on, you know, what's happening with Grinder Blues and all of us individually. Really, Facebook is probably the best place.
Okay.
Somebody says, how's your manager doing? I was at a Buddy Guy Johnny Lang concert, and he sat next to me. Huh?
He must be doing okay, because I've never met him.
I'm going to get on the phone right now. I'm going to get on the phone right now and talk to my manager.
You know, we don't, he might have said he was, unless it was Miles. You know, Miles kind of, Miles would not say he was our manager, though. He'd just say he produced us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Imposters already. It means we're doing good.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows?
Oh, that's awesome. All right, guys. Anything else you want to?
Hope everybody's staying
Get out
safe
there
and
and buy
healthy.
it, folks. You know, the record is available for sale, and you can listen to it on Spotify. You can listen to it on, you know, all of your digital services or whatever. But if you like the record, man, you know, spend $10 and go buy it. It's a great record. We put our heart and soul into it, and get out there and buy the thing, would you?
Yeah. And guys, thanks for all the messages. That's cool.
Man. Thank you for it.
Sorry we couldn't answer them all, but we tried.
I think
and we're going to put these. And Crystal, this is going to be available on multiple Facebook pages after this to watch it again if people didn't catch up with it, right?
Absolutely. Yep. It'll be available on every place that we're live now, and we'll be able to put it on YouTube as well.
Cool.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, everybody, man, for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Metalville Records, for taking a shot on us and getting the record out. We really appreciate that, of course, too. And we hope to see you guys out there soon.
Hey.